It's the Jef Clo Podcast Show. We just hacked your devices to make this your new ringtone, cause it's the Jef Clo Podcast Show. Oh, it's Jef and Clo and Jef and Clo and Jef and Clo and Jef and Clo. And just in case you didn't remember, it's Jef and Clo. Jef and Clo.
Are you ready?
Well, yeah, I was just going to jump right in.
All right, do it.
Hello. We're back for another Jef Clo podcast.
That's right. We are on number 9, Dave. I know we've tried to get away from announcing the number, but
Number 9.
number 9 means we're almost to number 10.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
10 will be a special occasion, I think.
Yep, we're going to have a party. None of you are invited. Well, actually, all of you are invited. We're just not going to tell you where the party is because it's going to be...
Let's all have like about 1,000 or however many listeners we have, probably 10,000 by now. We all have 10,000 different private parties at the same time.
I'm glad you said private parties and not private parts. That would have been awkward.
Oh, yeah. Well, but we do. But yes. Let's all have a party, but not with each other, is what I'm saying.
Right, there you go. It'll be like viewing parties and listening parties that they do, or when you watch the, not the 4th of July, but like the New Year's celebrations. Remember around
the end of the
year 2000, everybody was panicked because of Y2K. Yeah. And I remember like everybody was watching the TV broadcasts of every different Y2K that was happening, because you don't know, is it the English or is it the American Y2K? Is it, the British Y2K? Which one's going to crash it?
Right. And I was always like, why not 2K,
Why? Oh,
Yeah.
such a laid back approach. Why not?
Why not 2K?
That's right.
For those of you younger than 12, how many years has it been now? Let's see.
12? That was 19 years ago.
That's crazy. But you had at least been probably 10 to even know what was going on, so...
And for the rest of our audience, clearly Dave has not been keeping track of the date for 7 years.
At least. Maybe longer.
You just stopped at why not 2K?
Everyone else is saying why 2K. I was saying why not 2K.
Right. Well, before we jump into things, I want to point out
We're jumped in, man. You always say that, but we're already in, man. We're jumped in.
Yeah, okay, fine, we're in. Well, what I was going to say is I saw on social media that Ryan Shazier, former Buckeye player...
got married.
Yes, he did get married.
That's so cool.
I don't want to call him a former Steelers player because he is still enlisted. Well, enlisted is probably not the word. He's still a player on their team. He's just not listed as somebody who can
not active
perform this year. But the leaps and bounds that he has made. Did you see the video of him dancing with his wife?
Yes, I did at the wedding. Yeah, that was pretty incredible. And for those of you who don't know, he was paralyzed in a
spinal injury. Yes, during a football game. Yeah, and I mean
against the Bengals.
Yep, against the Bengals. But nobody thought he would walk again. And he was on the Buckeye Cruise this year and walking around.
Dancing at his wedding. And I mean, it's really cool to see that.
Oh,
and he couldn't be a nicer guy. I met him on the one of the cruises, the cruise before that happened.
Oh, yeah.
And he was just so nice. He was making fun of my Dolphins because they had just destroyed them that year.
Gotcha.
And in the playoffs, actually. It was the one year we made the playoffs.
Gotcha. Well, yeah, he's definitely a sweetheart. He's like one of the only players that I have a picture with from every year that he's been on the cruise. I did not get one this year because I'm sure everybody just wanted a picture with Ryan because it was such a monumental,
absolutely
monumental moment. That's horrible.
Yes, it was.
But he was, back on the boat, walking around. But yeah, he's just always been the most down-to-earth, sweetest guy you could meet.
Just super happy to be doing the fundraising and all that. Just a really great person.
Yeah.
So,
and
hats off to him.
Yes, hats off. Jef Clo hats off to him. You need to go to jeffandclo.com, get your Jef Clo hat. Yes, that's right.
So you can take it off.
That's right. But I saw a posting on social media not that long ago, it might have been a couple weeks, where he was in a gym with a trainer doing box jumps. Did you see that?
Yes, I couldn't believe it. And I was like, I could never do that.
No. Yeah. Carrie Ann is very into fitness, and she took me to her cousin Steve, who is a personal trainer. We went, I want to say Sunday morning, and I'm also not a morning workout guy. You know, I haven't worked out in a while, and let me just say that after one 45-minute workout with her cousin Steve, I was having a hard time going down the stairs because of my thighs burning for like 2 or 3 days. Meanwhile, Ryan Shazier is doing box jumps that probably are higher than my abdomen.
And I have a hard time just walking across my office without getting hurt.
Right, without falling on a guitar.
Yeah.
Episode 8.
Not good.
That's right.
By the way, also on episode 8 was my discussion of going to a chiropractor.
That's right.
Who I went and visited again today.
Oh.
And I told them about the podcast, and they were all excited. And I'm like, oh gosh, I kind of said some things, you know.
You didn't say anything bad. As a matter of fact,
I said
the only
they
thing
were
bad
great.
you said was that you didn't want to tell them how good they made you feel.
Yeah, and that I was afraid they were going to do this high pressure sales thing.
Right.
Which
okay.
They weren't. They were very cool. They showed me some plans, and they were actually very reasonable today. And so I signed up, and I got to give a shout out to my doctor Ben Sweeney.
All right. So
it's called Well Health and Chiropractic.
Unlike mine, which was chiropractic.
Hold on. I'm still giving the shout out.
Okay.
In Franklin, Tennessee. And the girls at the counter gave me their cards. They're like, we listen to podcasts all the time. And I'm like, yeah, I'll mention you. And then I can't find their card. And I can only remember names for something like 7 minutes. And then it's gone.
We've discussed on previous podcasts how you took a memory course, but ironically, you always forget to use the memory tricks.
It's like I would so have that too if I just had.
Right.
If I'd remember, you know, that's what I should have done today. I should have, you know, I think one of them had a name that started possibly with an A, and one of them possibly had a name that started with a J. But that could be totally wrong.
Right.
Wrong.
It might have been just one girl named AJ.
No.
Okay.
Well, yeah, you could be right. I have no idea.
Who knows? That's typically not the lady's name.
I'll find out next time I go in.
Okay. But I will say that I said last week when we were discussing this that you were absolutely going to get sucked in, and you're telling me no high pressure sales, which I believe. I'm not going to.
Yeah,
I wasn't there.
Wasn't.
But sure enough, Dave, you just signed up for the full package. So you did get sucked in, even with low pressure sales.
Yeah, but I do have some issues, so they're helping with that. So.
Yeah, but what about your back?
Oh, that's humor right there.
Yeah, there you go. Sharp as a tack.
Well, the thing that's funny, and I told him this happened to me the first week, and I said, I'm going to make sure I don't do this time, but, you know, like the poof of air in your eye at the eye doctor, and it makes you jump. Well, I was like, this time when he does the little thing, especially like when they twist the head, which freaks you out.
Right.
I said, I'm not going to kick my right leg. My right leg kicked every time last time.
You're like a dog getting his stomach scratched.
Right, exactly. It was just like that. And so this time I kicked my right leg every time. I couldn't not do it. It was weird. But every time he would just do the thing, because it's always some kind of like aggressive move against you for a second, and you're like, and my leg would just go flying in the air.
Well, unless it violates some kind of a HIPAA rule, you should ask either girl that begins with an A or girl that begins with a J to step into the room next week and get some video of the leg kick.
I could probably video it myself. You know, he did say one thing that I really was happy to hear. As he was grabbing my neck and I knew what was coming, that quick jerk to the left and to the right kind of thing.
Right.
He said, you know, what worries people most about this is that they see people get killed in movies this way, you know, a quick,
right,
and
like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Right. He's like, it wouldn't happen that easily. And I'm like, okay, that actually, he's like, I'd have to like twist your neck all the way around, you know.
Oh, well, that's good
And
that he
I'm like,
knows the correct procedure.
Right. So I could kill you if I wanted to.
I used to be a Navy SEAL.
Yeah. It was just good to know. Yeah, Ben, I did appreciate knowing that you couldn't accidentally go 1 centimeter too far and I'm dead, you know.
Right. Well, speaking of episode 8, not to flash back to too many episodes, one of my favorite things about the podcast recently has been my parents listen, and mostly my mother. I always get texts from her because we've been pretty transparent and open about our childhoods and pasts and things. And occasionally I'll talk about some way that I got in trouble as a child or something I did, and I'll get a text the day of the podcast being launched from my mom saying, well, this is the first I'm hearing about that. And that was El Gato last week, that she did not know about that detention, but we brought up We Are the World in a side tangent last week.
Yeah. It was a tangent of a tangent, right?
Yes, it was. And my mom sent me a text the next day to remind me, and I remembered when she told me that I had taken all of the brown paper lunch bags that she used
Right.
for our lunches and made We Are the World puppets, which clearly there were just a ton of people involved in that video. So
all right.
I used every lunch bag that we had in the house, and then come Monday, there were no lunch bags for her to pack our lunches, and she had to use grocery bags. Now, let me remind you...
No, you're reiterating this story, right? Because you did tell this last time.
No, I sent you a screenshot of my mom texting me that I did not tell this last time.
Oh,
yes.
that was
the audience does not know about this.
Oh.
Yes, this was something I heard from my mom, and I sent you a screenshot of the text.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
That's right.
So she was going to use grocery bags to put our
It's
lunches
amazing.
in. Yeah, and keep in mind, back in the day, these weren't like the plastic grocery bags that you're thinking of now at Kroger that are still relatively small. Back then, grocery bags were giant. They were huge bags to put groceries in.
Yeah,
and she was going to send. Yeah,
but we have to just say this again. You used all the lunch bags to make all the characters from We Are the World, including Michael Jackson,
Dionne Warwick, everybody. We are the world. We are the children.
That's so amazing. I can't believe you made all of those.
Yes.
I wish there was a picture of that.
Well, I don't know. I was very artistic.
You must have been the coolest kid in school when you showed up with your 47 bags.
I don't think I took them to school. I think it was just something I did over the weekend to entertain myself.
The Cyndi Lauper bag alone must have been.
Yes, it had. I stole all of my mom's jewelry and just pierced it all over. No, I'm kidding. That didn't happen.
She's not that pierced. Oh, yeah, she was, wasn't she?
Yes,
but
she was
anyway.
like back before piercings were popular.
Yeah, for the time, it was a lot.
But yeah, so anyway.
How about Springsteen? Did you do a Springsteen bag?
I probably did. I don't remember.
Come on, man.
I used every lunch bag in the house, so I did as many big stars until I ran out.
Can we do a thing for where we ask all of our fans to make We Are the World puppets and take pictures of them?
Yes, please. If you have lunch bags in your house, please make puppets of people that were singing We Are the World.
You have to go back. I'm sure you can find that on YouTube. And,
I'm sure you can, yes.
And so you used up all the bags. Every bag in the house is gone. Lunch bag is gone. So your mom packs up your lunches in big, giant grocery bags.
Right, which made my older brother apparently cry because he didn't want to go to school with a giant grocery bag with a little bit of lunch in it. So my mom said that she couldn't send it that way, and so she doesn't remember what she did to make it right for my brother.
Yeah,
I probably didn't care because I was the one who had used all the lunch bags.
Well, my mom, we just lived just close enough to the school always that she would make my lunch at home, and I would be one of those kids that had to hightail it. As soon as the bell rang, I had to run home, scarf down my food and run back.
Okay.
And so I never got to hang out at the lunch times with your grade school, middle school, high school friends.
Okay.
So because of that, I believe I'm less scarred.
Well, I don't know about that. That was like, that's lunch and gym are the best 2 times to be at school.
I was scarred enough from the gym class.
People like picking you up and throwing you into guitars.
Well, I don't know what kind of gym class you had, but I was very small. I was like...
So was I.
Were you? Yeah.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
Right. We talked about that.
Yes, we did.
When I was
Yeah.
like 16 and driving, people would be like, "What are you doing? You're like 12, right?"
So you're like the old lady that, like, in Ferris Bueller that can barely see over the wheel?
Yeah, except I wasn't an old lady.
Well, as we know that after my pencil selling, I came home as a small boy.
A tiny child.
Yes, whatever.
You did
All
go
right.
back and listen to your wording there, right?
I did. You were correct.
All right.
So, all right, we'll try not to reference too many old episodes, but at the same time,
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that. We want those of you who have not listened before to go listen to more. And
Yeah.
Dave, while we're talking about our actual podcast and multiple episodes, I want to bring up, so we mentioned weeks and weeks ago that we wanted people to go, if you were an Apple user, go listen on Apple Podcasts because they have a new and noteworthy section.
We didn't make it to it, did we?
No, I keep checking.
Okay.
So I'm going to explain this to you.
I thought you were going to make a big announcement right there.
No, I wish I could.
Okay.
But I'm about to bite the hand that feeds is what I'm about to do. So because I also did the math today, and 60% of our listens, which are over 1,100 now, which doesn't sound like much, but it's not too shabby for, only 8 episodes of a podcast. That's organic growth.
Yes.
And 60% of our listens so far are through Apple devices. So we're sending a lot of traffic their way. And with Apple Podcasts, what I read was that you have 8 weeks to get into the new and noteworthy section. And we didn't get into Apple Podcasts until like week 2 or 3. So we still have like a week or so after this podcast. However, let me point something out because I keep checking. And let me point out some of the shows that are taking our slots in the new, I want to reiterate that, new and noteworthy. So there's a show called The Sunday Show with Gabriel Sunday. It first premiered on December 8th, and the last show was on February 11th. They had 9 shows total. It's been over 8 weeks since the last show even aired, and they're still in new and noteworthy. There's a show called Nobody Listens to Paula Poundstone, the comedian Paula Poundstone.
Oh, yeah. I never listened to that.
Her first, neither did I. No one did, apparently.
She was right then.
The first episode came out July 15th last year. I don't know how she's still in the new and noteworthy section. Hold on, it gets worse.
Maybe they're just waiting for someone young and cool and, I don't know, 2 guys
Named
maybe.
Jef and Clo, yeah.
That come along and they need something good.
Right. Well, they haven't picked up on it yet. Okay, there's another podcast called Girls Gotta Eat, which I will just tell you, based on the episode descriptions I read, I will never let my 17-year-old daughter listen to that because it is all about to be a hooer. It is
about
awful.
a what? Be a what?
A hooer. Trying to, yes. First episode aired on February 12th of 2018. So they are way past the 8 weeks. That's not new anymore.
Well, I'm glad we promoted them just now.
Yeah, but let me give you one more example just to let you know what Apple Podcasts is still sticking. And this is not new and noteworthy just in general. This is just in the comedy category.
Oh, okay.
The Joe Rogan Experience, which I love Joe Rogan, don't get me wrong. His podcast first premiered on December 24th, 2009.
I still think of that.
10 years ago.
I still think of that as new.
Okay. Well, that's right, because you stopped counting the calendar in 2012 or something.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
to you, that's like very recent.
You're like 2 Christmases back or something?
Yes. So we still appreciate everybody who listens on Apple Podcasts. We don't want to bite the hand that feeds. I don't anticipate that Apple Podcasts are just going to pull our podcasts for giving them grief over how they handle.
It's probably just one guy that's on vacation or something that needs to come back and
Right. He's been on vacation since 2009.
Yeah, just a couple Christmases ago.
Or at least since July of 2018, because that's pretty much every podcast in the New and Noteworthy right now is about 6 to 12 months old.
Well, that gives us hope that maybe by 2030 we can be in the New and Noteworthy section.
Perfect. I will put that on the agenda of business plans 2030.
2030.
We will be new and noteworthy.
Eligible.
So anyway, continue to listen, please, on Apple Podcasts.
I will.
And Spotify, not you, yes, everybody
You're
else.
talking to them? Okay.
Yes, and Spotify and SoundCloud. However, I was a little disgruntled when I was looking, and I'm like, how are we losing out to all of these people? And I know the Joe Rogan Experience has been around a long time. I did not know it's been around 10 years, or almost 10 years. So,
What does gruntled mean?
like the opposite of disgruntled?
Yeah, I don't know. Is it?
I don't know. Disgruntled means
You're the word guy.
Unsatisfied. So I would assume gruntled means satisfied.
I'm going to start using that instead of satisfied.
Yes.
I can't get no.
Gruntulation.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, this spaghetti is delicious. I am quite gruntled.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mom.
You're talking about your spaghetti, aren't you?
Well,
And your trailer toast.
no, and I've discovered Carrie Ann has made spaghetti for me, and I will have to admit that she makes a meaner spaghetti than I do. So, I'm getting
Yeah.
Dave hungry.
Yeah. Can I come visit? It's only a 6-hour drive.
That's right. Yes, you can come up for some spaghetti. But I will say, she still has me make the trailer bread when she makes her spaghetti. So the trailer bread is still there.
Oh, thank the heavens above. I'm ready. Let's do it again. When do we get together? When do we play again?
We'll figure it out. Yeah, well, you were talking about getting us on Beale Street down in Memphis in the summer. Yeah.
We should work on that.
Yeah, we'll put something together. So we'll figure that out. We won't discuss it too
need
much because we have zero plans at the moment.
We have an
And this
agent. We need an agent.
Secret agent man?
Yeah.
Or just an agent?
Hey.
What?
Either one, as long as it's
What was
an
that?
agent.
What were you starting to sing? You just went, hi.
No, I went,
Okay.
came out very musical. That's just how I am. We could probably make a song out of it. Hey. 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 Hey.
Hi.
Hey.
Hi.
Hey.
Hi.
Hey.
Hi.
Hey.
Hi. Gotcha. I'm going to burst in with another quick tangent. I just want to say St. Louis Blues, a couple nights ago, made it to the Western Conference Finals. They are 4 wins away from going to the Stanley Cup Finals, which I think they've only done twice in their long tenure as a franchise. So, woohoo! All right, that's all I have to say about
super
hockey right
exciting.
now.
Okay.
All I have to say about hockey right now.
Yeah. Yay.
Yay! All right, so I'm going to talk about, I don't know, did you hear, I know you're not a Game of Thrones watcher. I am not caught up. I'm still back 2 episodes. I know there's been a big battle in the 3rd episode, which I haven't seen yet.
How many seasons have there been now?
This is the 8th and final season. There's only 6 episodes this season, but like apparently...
I've got 8 seasons to catch up on.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't know if you saw this news, but it was like huge news that apparently
yes.
yes, there was a scene in the most recent episode where they left a they thought they left a Starbucks cup sitting in the scene. Now, they did leave a coffee cup. It was not Starbucks. So it turns out that it was just one of the... It looked like a Starbucks cup, but it was a cup from their craft service or whatever they do.
Oh, right.
It didn't have a Starbucks logo, but because it looked like a Starbucks cup, it made the rounds as a Starbucks cup on social media.
I was thinking before you told me that just now that maybe they were like, hey, let's just do this and it'll be a huge advertisement. Like Starbucks paid them $1 million or something, but
no,
you're
see, that's what
telling
they
me
were
it
saying.
wasn't even a Starbucks cup.
No, but there's been all this like backlash about how lazy it was, and so like even the producers or whoever at HBO came back and said, well, if Starbucks even wanted to appear in the show, it would have cost them like $1 million. But the fact is like they did the marketing research, and I want to say they've had over $1 million worth of free marketing, even though it wasn't their cup, just from all of the discussion about Starbucks being in the show. Yeah, so
I know I went to Starbucks 3 times because of that this week.
well, good for you, good Dave, for spreading the wealth.
Fake news.
Well, no, we want to ask everybody who is in the television or film business if you would please take a Jef Clo card and just leave it somewhere in the scene.
Or hat.
We'll take that free advertising, yes.
Great idea.
Speaking of which, I mentioned last week that we're going to be doing this street team where, you know, we're grassroots, as I've said before. We know we have, the following is building. Like, actually, our episode 8 was one of the strongest listens that we've had, or listenership, or whatever it is, in that first week, without people going back and listening when they're new. So we're starting to grow slowly. Right now, just, I want to say we're not even 4 days in, or not, I meant episode 7. Episode 8, which has been out for about 4 days, is on track to surpass episode 7. Not by a bundle, but by some, yes. So what we're going to do is we're going to let all of you, and please don't email us if you aren't going to do this, because this is money out of our pockets. So we're asking you to email us at iwantcards@jefandclo.com, and we're going to send you a small little chunk of cards, and then you can place those wherever you want. You can give them out to friends and family, and if you put them in weird spots like Dave and I have done in the past, please take photos of them. Maybe we'll share those on our social media. But yes, iwantcards@jefandclo.com. Just email us there, and we will send cards out to you, and you will be part of the official Jef Clo Podcast Street Team.
Street Team.
Oh, yeah, that's how it's done, Dave.
And here's our new Street Team jingle. Street Team. Street Team. Street Team.
What it is, it's iwantcards@jefandclo.com.
I'll just take that last thing you said and make a jingle out of that.
Okay, perfect. It's iwantcards@jefandclo.com. It's iwantcards@jefandclo.com. But yeah, so the Game of Thrones thing was a big whoopsie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That did make me laugh. But how do we know for sure that they didn't have coffee cups in that universe?
Well, I'm not even sure they had plastic, and like the top of the cup was plastic.
How do you know?
Well, because I've watched the show for 7 seasons.
Carved wood.
Well, that was. I'd love to see a coffee cup lid made out of handcrafted wood.
How do we know it was coffee?
We don't. It could have been tea or water.
I think it would have been funny if they just came out trying to deny it. No, that's supposed to be in there. That's come up with their excuses.
Right.
That's
we planned that. It's a dragon's tooth that they set on the table.
Yeah,
just looks like a coffee cup.
Yeah. Have you ever seen a dragon's tooth? They look just like that.
Right. This one happened to be filed down so it was flat on the bottom and they could lay it on the table.
That's how they come. They come flat on the bottom.
And they filled it with hot liquid.
From a sorcerer's bean.
From a Game of Thrones bean.
Yeah.
Clearly I don't know all the vernacular. Yeah. It was a Winterfell bean.
I'm just impressed that you know the word vernacular.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Big words.
Yeah. Big words. I've been told by some people that they miss that.
Yes, I know. I saw that on social media. Oh, so speaking of social media,
that goes out to you, Mindy.
Yes, that's right. But speaking of social media, we did post the image of our proposed iTooth T-shirt idea this last week.
Yes, we did. Overwhelming response.
Well, here's what happened, Dave. I posted the image of the T-shirt, and I said, please reply or comment if you are interested in a T-shirt so that we have an idea of what the demand would be before we do this. Then I changed our profile picture to the T-shirt, and we got a lot of likes to the profile pic because it was the newest post, and it overrode the previous post. And then you posted a picture from the Days Inn about a gravy hot tub, which got even more likes than the profile picture.
Well, we
need to
we
coordinate.
do enjoy a good gravy hot tub every now and then, don't we?
Oh, who doesn't?
Yeah.
Yeah. I like to feel like I'm just a warm piece of turkey.
Yeah.
Pour a little cranberry sauce over my head.
Endless biscuits around the hot tub.
Oh, delicious. Just dip and eat.
Dip and eat. Yeah.
Sounds very hygienic.
For those of you like my parents who have no idea what we're talking about right now, there was a Days Inn sign that said, 32-inch HD TV. And then the next line said, eggs, waffles. Next line said, biscuits, and then the last line said, gravy hot tub.
Yes.
So,
which is it's a shame that those signs don't come with punctuation marks.
Yeah,
because the comma would have really helped
them.
Yeah. It's like that old joke of how punctuation matters, where it's "let's eat grandma."
Yeah.
Or let's eat, grandma. How that comma
makes so much
makes
more
all
sense
the difference.
now.
Yes.
I was always so happy that I was never going to be a grandma.
What?
I grew up afraid of that sentence.
Oh, okay.
Worried about grandmas everywhere.
I thought you said you were happy that you were never going to be a grandma.
That's right, because I was afraid that my grandkids would be like,
"Oh, I see.
Let's eat grandma."
I see. So, Dave, I'm going to bring up something we discussed last week. How we're going to talk about things that may not appeal to everybody because of our opinion. We don't like political correctness. And I read an article about something, like we even discussed how people just get fired like instantly because of things that they say or jokes that they make. And in the world of comedy, honestly, there should really not be any limits. If you don't like the comedian, don't listen to them. But unfortunately,
and
we
go
now live
on
in
social media and tell everyone you hate them and that you think they're a bad person.
Right, but
let people decide with their wallets.
Well, no, don't even go on social media, because now all of a sudden you're just propagating the problem. You are just you're pushing.
I'm saying free speech for everyone.
Right. Okay, that's fine. If you want to go say it, but the fact is when you say it, you are bringing attention to it, and you're part of the problem at that point.
Right.
But
true.
As you may or may not know, did you realize that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle had their baby?
Who are they?
In the past week?
I know.
Okay, so the royal baby was born. So there is a BBC radio host who's a comedy radio host. His name is Danny Baker, and he posted a tweet after the baby was born. It's an old black and white photo of this well-dressed man and woman, and they're standing on the steps in front of a building, and they're kind of leaning down, holding hands with this chimpanzee that is dressed in like a full three-piece suit, top hat, cane.
Okay.
It's just silly. And
right.
he commented, or his commentary on his picture was, "The royal family leaves the hospital," or something like that.
Right.
Which he was just being a goof.
Yeah.
Well,
British humor is like that, yeah.
Right, but Meghan Markle is biracial. So he was instantly fired because everyone assumed that by making the child, quote unquote, a chimpanzee, that he was making a racist joke. It got even worse. Then he issued an apology on social media saying, "I didn't even think of it as being racial because my mind is not diseased." And then people started to come after him saying, "Oh, so now you're making fun of people with mental illnesses?"
Oh, God.
I know. It's just like, what world do we live in? And I'm going to be honest, I think the people that look at a picture like that and assume it's racism, those are the people that are driving the racist agenda. They're the ones that are creating that divide, that are looking to see color in every subtle instance that they can. Just laugh and go with it. You don't have to look at that and say, "Oh, this guy is a racist." It just drove me batty when I read that article.
Yeah, I mean, if he meant it to be racist, that'd be one thing. But if he's saying it's not, then maybe we give him the benefit of the doubt. Most people I know, including you.
Right, so all three of us?
Yeah. Don't want to say things that would hurt someone's feelings.
Of course.
But at the same time, don't want people to get their feelings hurt so easily.
Right.
You just kind of want to be able to be funny, make a joke, whatever. But back when we were kids, remember what we were taught? And it's totally out the window now. But the sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me.
That's right. But
that's
been lost in the wind.
Words are way more powerful than...
Oh, yeah. Well, it's just like in, the outspoken people that are so offended by everything. Like, for example, I'm just going to say Kathy Griffin. Is that her name? Griffith? I don't remember. It's just like you never remember Andy Griffith. But Kathy Griffin, I think that's her name. First off, I loathe her. She drives me batty. The just seeing her face makes me want to vomit. But she, posted that, tweet about with I think her holding up like a bloody Donald Trump head.
Yeah, wasn't that cute and funny?
Yeah, but at the same time, she's one of those people that's out there, saying, you can't say this about this person, you can't say this about this person, and that's just an inference or a perception of that person's words. She went straight out and okay, you know what, freedom of speech, she's allowed to do that. You should know better when it comes to the president that if you make any kind of gesture that the Secret Service is going to show up and assume that it's a threat. So that was, dumb on her part. But, it's this, double standard that drives me crazy. And, I'm going to, speak to make sure, first off, I want to make it very clear that while I don't see that black and white photo, I think this guy was just making a joke. I don't see that as an issue.
Well, did you say he's biracial?
No, Meghan Markle, the princess or whatever she is now, the mother that gave birth. So the new royal baby is essentially 1/4 African American.
But African British,
African, right?
Or whatever that.
Look
is.
at me! I'm standing on the steps with my little cane.
So I didn't even know that, but that's how much I don't care about the royal family.
Right, but it's not like this was a
I get it.
Again, it's a 1/4 African American. He clearly, I don't think he was making that joke.
It would have been nice if somebody said, "Are you saying this?" "Oh no, I'm not." "Oh, okay, good."
Right. And it's guilty until proven innocent nowadays. But I'm going to flip this because I want to make sure that, I want to point out somebody, an African American icon in American comedy who also recently underwent a lot of criticism, which is Kevin Hart. He was supposed to host the Oscars last year, and he had to step down because they went back and found tweets from like 2009,
a couple of Christmases
that they perceived to be homophobic. And maybe they were. I don't have them in front of me. And, again, I'm not condoning any hateful, rhetoric or anything like that. But this is the society we live in, that people are just digging. They are looking for any reason to be offended and to be angered, and looking for any reason to get people screwed out of work that they have worked so hard for. And Kevin Hart, you know what? I mean, I haven't seen any of his stand-up. I've seen a couple movies he's been in. I think he's a funny guy. But I think the fact is he's done very well. I've seen how far he's come in a short period of time. And, that was a huge accomplishment for him to get the opportunity to host the Oscars. And he had to step down just because of that. And to take the Kevin Hart story a little further, November of last year, he went under more fire because he hosted a birthday party for his young son that was themed Cowboys and Indians, and he had posted a picture of him and his family and the friends and the kids that were at the party, and they're all dressed in cowboy and Indian outfits, and everybody thought it was horribly offensive to the Native Americans. And it's just like, will you please stop? Calm down?
It's
like, what's happening?
There's cowboys and Indians, but this is horrible for the Indians.
Right.
What about Dallas Cowboys? Were they offended? No. What's weird is that everybody says things like, we need to be able to have a conversation. We need to have a conversation about this. So it's weird that like some of this that you're bringing up right now is making me feel uncomfortable because I'm hearing the voices of people in my head saying, you shouldn't be, saying this or that. It's like, well, how do you have a conversation if you can't just mention it and somebody could come along and say, this is why I think you're wrong, but not just shout you down and tell you to not talk about.
Yeah, and I agree. And I'm going to say this might be controversial, and I don't care. Our drummer in the band I have here in Columbus, the Lovebenders, he's black. Yeah, I've been saying African American this whole time because I'm trying to be politically correct, but you guys know now how I feel about that. The fact is no one has a problem saying white people. No one calls us Caucasian, and if we said we want to be called Caucasian, that would almost cause an uproar about that. And it's like now you can't even just say black. I don't know. It's just gotten out of control where everybody wants every word to be so delicately phrased.
What does Glenn think about it?
He doesn't care because he knows. He knows I'm not bigoted, and he wouldn't care if I, said, "Oh, this is my drummer. He's black." He doesn't care because he's a grown man who's in his mid-40s.
I hope you don't introduce him that way, though.
No, I mean, if I use that description to refer to him to someone else when he's not around, and that wouldn't offend him that I didn't say African American because he's a black man that has grown up a black man in the deep South, Alabama, Mobile, Alabama. He's been through a ton. My point being is clearly I'm not bigoted. I mean, I love Glenn to death, and he knows that. But
yeah, Glenn's a good guy.
Yeah, and it's just unfortunate that we live in a society where everybody has to walk on eggshells and be careful about what they say. And again, it's what.
Do you think it'll hit a point where it's like, oh, okay, can we just talk and not worry about?
I don't know.
Being offended or offending. I don't know.
I don't know because now we're getting to the point where people are making up their own pronouns because they don't want to be referred to as he or she. And it's got to be certain pronouns that you have to use.
Boy, we're really opening up a can of worms here, aren't we?
I know we are, but I'm just saying, my point being that I don't see it changing anytime soon because, as I mentioned, it is this strict dichotomy between both sides of the aisle where everybody is going further and further apart. Yeah. And everybody screams, during an election or a debate that we need to cross the aisle and we need to come together and work together. But we're the furthest from that possibility right now. Everybody just hates the other side with a passion, without consideration. And we're getting to a point where it is making it, we are going to have a civil war. Maybe not with muskets,
but
not. We're on the brink of a civil war in this country of parties and of liberals versus conservatives because they are spreading so far apart, and everybody's digging into the dirt so hard that it's just. I wish everybody would come into the middle. I consider myself a straight middle of the aisle guy. I actually tried to start my own political party a few years ago called the Idea Party because I believe that if you have two candidates who are the two finalists up in a debate, they should agree on 80% of everything because if these are the two best minds to run our country, they should agree on almost everything. They should have some differences, but everything is so black or white. There is no gray area in between. I want the death penalty. Well, then I don't. I want to, pro-choice. Well, then I'm pro-life. Everything is black or white, and it's because they're trying to appease their constituents.
African American or white.
Yeah. Well played. Hey, Caucasian. I take offense to that, Dave.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, this concludes the humor part of our podcast.
No, the rant.
Okay. The rants.
Yes. So anyway, I just think it's stupid that guy got fired. Instantly because he posted an old black and white photo with not a single racial comment. It was a joke. It wasn't like Roseanne. I mean, I understand Roseanne
because they make fun of the royal family all the time. So
right. He was just basically
probably just making fun of the royal family.
Yeah. Go Google. I don't know. You can Google Danny Baker chimpanzee, and that's the guy who said it. That's the photo. I guarantee you'll see it, and you'll realize there's nothing about this photo that looks racist. It's just silly. And if you've ever seen any British humor,
if we lose silly, we've lost our country.
Well, that's the problem. That's why we're losing free speech. I mean, all these comedians nowadays are so afraid. Like it used to be when you're an up-and-coming comedian that they would go out and play all these college campuses and college bars and stuff to kind of work their material out and, get their stuff together. But now they're all terrified to do it. That's why Jerry Seinfeld, one of the most prominent comedians of our era, he refuses to do stand-up comedy anymore because he understands the landscape and knows that he could say one thing that will ruin him.
Yeah. and
just for the sake of a laugh.
Tarnish his memory and
Right.
have to tear down all of his statues.
Right.
But, that's why I sort of feel like it's a pendulum because, gosh, I just remember when stand-up comedians, I was worried that I was going to be offended because it was so offensive. And now it's like, now I'm going to be offended because it's not funny because it's so bland.
Right. And I used to do stand-up, as you know, and I considered myself as being a very politically correct person. I used to be extremely offensive just to
Still are.
rub against them. Huh?
Nothing.
Just a what?
I didn't say anything.
Okay. I'll hear it in playback. But, this was also, over a decade ago before this landscape completely changed even more. Back then, I thought it was a nightmare, and now it's just, it drives me nuts. I just don't know where we're at as a society where we, like you said, we can't just talk about things. I think there are a lot of things on both sides of the aisle that make sense to me. The problem is nobody can get it together because they are going out of it is like a second grade, schoolyard lunchtime fight. It's just a bunch of name calling. And again, I'm not, clearly, anybody listening to this that is a liberal is going to be like, well, all right, look, little Rubio, your hands are so small. That Trump is the name caller. But I'll tell you what, one thing I love.
No, you had that backwards. Rubio said his hands are small.
Oh, you're right. But, one thing I loved, I had never before in my life set a debate to record so I could watch it later when I wasn't home because it was like entertainment watching these politicians come down to his level. Yeah. I'm not saying his approach was the right approach. I'm not saying it was necessarily always a statesman approach. But to watch these guys have no choice, and it's already happening now. Biden has already said, I've got so many names for Trump. Right now, I'm just going to start with clown. So he's already brought Biden down to his level, and they're months away from the campaign trail. So that's why
the movie Idiocracy is slowly becoming more and more prophetic. A prophecy more than a satire.
Right. No, great movie, though.
And thanks for your help on that big word.
For anyone who hasn't seen Idiocracy, please go watch it. Mike Judge, the creator of Beavis and Butthead, the guy who made Office Space. It's basically a movie about, just in the future, all these people who...
And what's the other one with the...
what other one?
Came out of Beavis and Butthead.
King of the Hill?
King of the Hill. That's Mike Judge.
Yes, but everybody knows that because it was very prime time.
Yeah, but you gotta give him a shout out for that one.
Okay,
because that's the one everyone knows.
All right, good for you, Mike Judge.
Start all over, Mike Judge.
No, that's good enough. So we went on a rant. Before we wrap up, Dave,
Sorry.
No, why are you sorry? I'm the one who started it.
I'm sorry for the people.
No, I think they'll enjoy it. Last night. Carrie Ann was using the bathroom and she came running out and said there is a huge spider behind the door. So I had to go in and kill this thing. I'm quite convinced it was a wolf spider because I live kind of out in the country. I hit it with a wooden spoon that I had already determined I was just going to throw in the trash afterwards. When I smashed it, this thing was so big that when I finally smashed it with a wooden spoon, all I managed to do was break it in half.
The spoon?
So I had a front body with 6 legs and a big back hump body with 2 legs. I
was going to check and see if you added up to 8 or not.
Yes, I did.
I was going to call you out if you didn't.
Yes, I can add, thank you. And I understand the arachnid principles.
Very good.
But there was a news story a couple days ago about a man in China. And this is perusing the news with Jef. All right, so this is me. I like to read the news. There was a man in China a couple days ago. At least the story came out a couple days ago.
Just one?
Just one man, yes.
Oh, that is news.
No, but he went to the doctor because he had a itching or a tickling in his ear, and turned out there was a small spider that had built a nest in his ear canal. Yeah, You're like the itsy bitsy spider went up the ear canal.
Yeah.
But just like the itsy bitsy spider, they could not grab the spider and its nest because it was so small with any tools, so they had to flush it out. So out came the doctor and flushed the spider out. So yeah, that was...
I'm apologizing again, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry for that.
No, that was well done, Dave. They will applaud me.
I'll be like, wow, that's the rockinest version of the itsy bitsy spider.
That's right. Well, I brought up ears and doctors.
Okay, so
and-
real quick side tangent here.
Yes.
Is it technically itsy bitsy spider or eensy weensy spider?
I'm pretty sure it's itsy bitsy. Or maybe I'm thinking of teeny
so,
weeny
too.
yellow polka dot bikini. I'm not sure.
I think you're right. I think it's itsy
Okay.
bitsy.
I don't think I've ever heard eensy weensy spider.
Till now.
That was probably what your mom was singing to you during your lunch breaks when you were at home. And had you been at school, you would have actually learned the real version of the song.
Yeah.
She was just trying to confuse you.
And what was most bothersome is that I was a junior in high school during that. It's like, Mom, come on.
With your PB&J with the crust cut off.
Who told you about that? Thanks for all the lunches, Mom.
Okay, well, that's right. Thanks, Mom.
My kids come home from school, and I'll look down in their lunchbox, and it's like still full of all the food. And I'm like, why didn't you eat it? I'm starving now. Can we go eat somewhere? It's like, why didn't you eat your lunch? I didn't have time or something.
Right. Well,
quite-
you need to quit packing them Brussels sprouts and farva beans. So you need to figure out a more appetizing lunch, and they will eat it.
Wait a minute, they don't like that.
You're-
So you
you're-
were in the middle of something before we tangented. Oh, so
No, I was just-
the guy has a
I was
spider in his ear. What happens? How do they get it out? They flushed it
I
out.
already told you. They flushed it out, yes. I was
seemed
done
like-
with my story.
Seemed like
You're
there'd
trying
been a
to-
more dramatic ending.
No, I just wanted to talk about the spider that I had to kill in my house that was giant.
And sing the song.
Because it made me think of this man in China. And I just wanted to end the episode with everyone thinking and being grateful for the fact that they don't have spiders in their ears. All you have in your ears are Jef and Clo.
And wax.
And wax, which you can take out and turn into a figurine. That didn't make any sense.
Do you remember that really horrible commercial for Q-tips where he'd say, don't stick anything inside your ear. Like you're supposed to use Q-tips just on the outer ear, and it's like, who's not going to stick the Q-tip down inside the ear? But they were trying to, I guess, not have any lawsuits, so they were like,
Oh, you're not supposed to stick it in that far?
yeah. And they would say, don't put anything in your ear except your elbow, of course.
That's how I clean my tonsils.
Oh, that's gross.
Yeah, I go way in.
Yeah, I'm
No,
sure there's
I'm
plenty
kidding.
of room in there on your end.
Yeah.
So-
Jeff has giant ear holes.
You guys, your doctor could have just scared the spider out the other side or something.
Oh, the empty brain. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, I got that.
It doesn't work with you because you're big words and all.
Big words. All right. Well, let's wrap this up because once again, we have failed to keep this at a reasonable time.
We stink.
Well, we don't. I mean, we've showered.
I'll just edit out your rant. No.
Well, that was a joint rant.
No, yes, it
not
was.
like the reggae band that got pulled over last week.
Yeah.
All right, well, we're gonna wrap this up. Last week we were we were scrambling to figure out which songs we had not done on the show yet.
Right.
We had done 7, so let's see. Did we do
We've
country
done-
song
we've
yet,
done-
Dave?
We've done 8 now. Right?
Yes, we've done 8. We haven't done Let Go. I know that. We did Truth Be Told. We've done Faithful
I
Road.
don't
We've
think
done Ready,
done,
Set,
we
Go.
have not done country song or
Or Clean.
clean.
Yeah. Let Go. Country song, Let Go, Clean, and Amabilia. Those are the 4.
All right. I guess we go with,
Let's go with country song.
go back to country. That's what I was
There
going to
we
say.
go. All right.
This is country
So-
song, and we love you all.
Yes, we do. And we will talk to you next week. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Please go to jeffandclo.com, order the Jef and Clo hat. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, despite the fact that they will probably never put us in New and Noteworthy, at least until 2030, which is our goal. And also, please email us at iwantcards@jeffandclo.com, and we will get you some cards to promote the podcast to your friends, family, or urinals in your area. Ladies, that will be dicey if you want to put them in there, but you can probably be creative. So thanks, everybody. I love you, Dave.
Love you too, Jeff. Bye-bye.
You're my country song. I wanna play you all night long. I want you open up that purty mouth and sing right along. I wanna rewind, I wanna repeat. There ain't no shuffling except for these feet out on the dance floor. You're playing my song. Come on, baby, let's play track one. We can have us a little fun. Out in the field, we'll play track two. And you can show me that dance you do. And in the back of my truck, we'll rock to track 3. And I'll scoot you a little closer to me. Then we'll skip track 4, go straight to 5. We can howl till the morning light. Cause with the beer in my hand and the moon on your face, I know there ain't no other place, baby, I'd rather be. You're my country song. I wanna play you all night long. I want you open up that purty mouth and sing right along. I wanna rewind, I wanna repeat. There ain't no shuffling except for these feet out on the dance floor. You're playing my song. Come on, baby, let's play 6. And baby, have 6 again. And then we get to 7. Oh, baby, you got me revving. I'm so anxious for track 8. Cause honey, I can hardly wait until we hit track 9 and dancing line. It's a backyard party and I'm feeling fine. Cause with the shot in my hand and the lights on your face, I know there ain't no other place, baby, I'd rather be. You're my country song. I wanna play you all night long. I want you open up that purty mouth and sing right along. I wanna rewind, I wanna repeat. There ain't no shuffling except for these feet out on the dance floor. You're playing my song tonight. You all night long. I want you open up that purty mouth and sing right along. I wanna rewind, I wanna repeat. There ain't no shuffling except for these feet out on the dance floor. You're playing my song. You're my country song. I wanna play you all night long. I want you open up that purty mouth and sing right along. I wanna rewind, I wanna repeat. There ain't no shuffling except for these feet out on the dance floor. You're playing my song tonight. Brain fart.